So SummerSlam Night 2 has been and gone. The Raw after SummerSlam has been and gone. And there are certainly some talking points to come from it. So let's talk about them. But before that, so you don't forget, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel with your post notifications on so you don't miss any uploads like this or of your choosing. Just comment down below any other videos you would like to see me make, any suggestions you might have. I'll do my best to get to them. So you may as well, if you leave a comment, you may as well just subscribe, turn your post notifications on so you'll be updated when your video comes out. That's all the admin done. Let's get into talking about SummerSlam. So I didn't actually watch it live because I couldn't get Monday off work. So I watched the results before it, you know, skip through a bit of the matches just to get the lowdown on all the results so I could actually go on my phone and, you know, see what people were saying about them. I watched the matches after and all the shenanigans that came with them. This man being one of them, probably the biggest talking point from the entire weekend, but we will get to that because I do not want to forget about the women who were pretty incredible well, they have been in general this year, to be fair. Evolution was one of my favourite PLEs. It's probably the best PLE WWE have done this year. I was going to do a video about that, but I just haven't got around to it. And maybe I still will. But yeah, don't want to forget about them because they kicked off the show. They had 2 huge title matches. And I don't have any women's figures. I don't collect them. But with how much they've impressed me this year so far, I've been thinking about branching out into them. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think I should do that, and if you have women's figures, how do they hold up? Are they good? They used to be not great, but you know, with all the advancements made in the figures, they might be now. But anyway, gonna stop rambling. Let's get on to SummerSlam. So to kick off the show was Naomi, the champion, against Rhea and Io for the women's world title. Really, really good match. I really enjoyed this. I thought, obviously, Rhea and Io are 2 fantastic workers, and their chemistry is very, very good. Now, we saw this at WrestleMania. We've seen this at, was it a Saturday Night's Main? It wasn't a Saturday Night's Main Event, was it? What was the last pay-per-view? Not Money in the Bank. Not bad. I can't remember what the last pay-per-view was, but it was that one. Was it a Saturday Night's Main Event? I don't know. When Naomi cashed in, someone tell me, was that I feel like that was at Saturday Night's Main Event, but maybe I'm getting that wrong. I can't remember what my last predictions I did were. But then Rhea and Io had that match. Fantastic. Very, very good match. At WrestleMania, they had those 2 and Bianca Belair, another one of the best wrestlers in the world. Incredible. Naomi slotted right into that role very seamlessly. I think her style really went well, and I know we've seen a lot of triple threats under Triple H, ironically, under Triple H, and you know, some people get sick and tired of them because we're, you know, overindulge with them. We see loads of them. I love triple threats. I think they're really, really good. I really enjoy them, to be honest. I thought this was a really good triple threat. I thought the styles just merged really well. Naomi had, you know, she was double teaming them, and then Rhea and Io were Naomi was sort of pairing them off against each other and stuff like that, and then they were double teaming Naomi, and there was loads of stuff. And then you get the one-on-one between Rhea and Io, which was the match before Naomi cashed in, and then at the end you have Rhea hits a riptide, she's got Io beat, Naomi, bang, roll up, 1, 2, 3, and I did predict that one correctly, and I did even say it would end like that with Rhea hitting a riptide, and then I said Naomi would throw her out and then pin Io, but she didn't get a clean pin over either of them. She just got a roll up, which is stealing the win. If you're Michael Cole, you know, it's perfectly legitimate. There's nothing wrong with roll ups. You know, they've been used for years and years. So yeah, she gets the win. I think that's the right decision. Those 2 go do something else. Go be a tag team and then face Charlotte and Alexa. I don't know what they're doing. I think they should just stay away from the title scene a bit, but Io wanted a match now, and it's all a bit confusing. The draft's coming soon, I think. It was supposed to be after SummerSlam. I'm assuming it's before Clash at Paris, Clash in Paris, whatever it is. But we know Stephanie Vaquer has a women's title match there, so it's either against Tiffany Stratton or it's against Naomi. As things stand, who knows? But that's all we really have for Clash at Paris, or Clash in Paris for now. Other match was Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. No DQ, no count out, and all that good stuff. Lyra, of course, lost, which I did predict, so I'm 2 for 2 so far, 2 for 2 on the women's matches. And Bayley was a part of that. I said Bayley would cost her the match. I didn't specify that Bayley would cost her it inadvertently, so we don't get the heel turn, which is probably good. I did think they were going to turn her heel, but they didn't, which is nice because a lot of people seem like they didn't want heel Bayley again, and I'm fine with that. But I don't know where we go from here. Does Lyra turn heel? Who knows? Are they separated in the draft? Who knows? I suppose Becky and Lyra will be separated in the draft because, well, Lyra can't challenge for that title as long as Becky's champion anyway, so you may as well move her away. But if she stays on the same brand, then that actually comes into play more, and she then has to go to the world title or the women's title, whichever brand they end up on. Who knows? I feel like the women's world title will stay on Raw because it's just the one with the more, there's just more surrounding it. I feel like it's more prestigious in the women's division. Jade and Tiffany over there, not incredibly exciting other than Bianca, but we don't know when she'll be coming back. So yeah, I enjoyed Becky versus Lyra as well. Lyra's fantastic. We even saw her, some people said she was better with no hands being zip tied than Karrion Kross, which I find quite funny. Karrion Kross seems to be on his way out though. Him and Scarlett's contracts are expiring and there's been nothing offered, and we'll get onto some of Triple H's comments surrounding that a little bit later in the video. I don't want to talk too much about this because we've still got to talk about everything that is in the ring right now. But yeah, enjoyed that match. The zip tie stuff was pretty good. Lyra and Becky, their chemistry is very, very good. I've really enjoyed all of their matches. I'm looking forward to potentially them having a world title feud somewhere down the line. I don't know if maybe the roles would reverse and Lyra's the heel and Becky's the face or what have you, but yeah, I'm down to see more of that matchup because really, really good. Now we get on to one of my favorites of the night. Fantastic ladder match, TLC match, sorry. I keep calling it a ladder match, which it sort of is. There's not really a difference between a ladder match and a TLC match, other than in a TLC match, they generally use more tables and chairs. But there's nothing stopping you from using tables and chairs in a ladder match, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe there's just less of them under the ring. But yeah, 12-man ladder match. Street Profits, DIY, Wyatt Six, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, Andrade and Rey Fenix, Axiom and Fraser, Fraxium, and the Motor City Machine Gun, Sabin and Shelley. Wow, what? Just a pretty crazy match. I don't know if they outdid the three-way TLC match from the night at the SmackDown after Mania with, was that DIY Machine Gun Street Profits? I think that's what it was. That was really good. This one was really good. It felt fast. It was, you know, they had a set time, obviously, as all matches do. They had a set time. They must have stuck to it. They got everything in. I don't know how many table spots there were. I don't know if they let them use so many tables because the tables are now sponsored by Slim Jim. So, you know, they're a bit cheaper because Slim Jim are paying for them. But wow, there was some amount of table spots. That Phoenix's frog splash through that table, that was, wow, that was crazy. You get Johnny's big bump off the ladder through the tables with Ciampa, through 4 tables. Candice comes in, goes through a ladder. The ladder's snapped completely in half. It ends a bit flat with the Wyatt Six winning, but I don't actually mind. I like the Wyatt Six. I mean, it's tough for supernatural sort of gimmicks, like they can be all spooky, but at some point they've got to wrestle, which makes it a bit awkward. I like the Wyatt Six's finisher. I think that's really cool, the suplex into the powerbomb. I really like the look of that. How he got involved and all that good stuff. and they get the win. I'm not complaining too much. They retain on the night, and you know it's their first pay-per-view PLE defense, so I've not got a problem with that. I don't like when people don't even have a single defense, but sort of I don't like when someone wins a title and you can sort of almost instantly tell when they're gonna drop the title and it's not for a long time. A bit like when Cody didn't win it at 39 and Roman held the title, you knew, right, they've not taken it off him at Mania. That means he's holding it till next Mania, because they aren't having Roman's record-breaking, incredibly long reign as champion end anywhere other than Mania, and they've just turned it down. So you know what I mean. But yeah, I've got no problem with that. I'm fine with that. The tag division is so stacked. You've got Los Garza. There are literally tag teams on the SmackDown tag division that have other tag belts because there's so much depth. They're just 6 teams. You got Los Garza as well. You have Pretty Deadly, which I really like. One of them is injured at the minute, which is probably why they're not as involved. You got Melo Don't Miz as well, obviously. Yeah, they don't really seem to be doing much at the minute, but yeah, I didn't get that one right. I said Andrade and Phoenix would win. They didn't. Spoiler alert. White 6-1. So I'm 2 for 3 so far on predictions. Now we'll get into the 2 mid-card matches. We'll get Finn Balor straight out of here because he wasn't involved at all. He didn't show up. No siding with AJ on that one. But we'll jump into that one first. I enjoyed the match. It was pretty good. It was a tribute to Eddie 20 years after the custody of Dominic Mysterio ladder match at SummerSlam. AJ came out in the lowrider in Eddie's gear. That was really cool. Looking forward to getting a figure of that. That was very, very cool. And then you get sort of like the play and the hits of Eddie's career. You get the chair spot, and then AJ turns it on Dom and puts it around his neck. So I sort of liked that little detail. The ref didn't see either of them. He couldn't really decide, so he just said, "Nah, go on." And then AJ's applying the pressure with calf crusher. Dominic undoes the boot. The boot comes off. He bumps into the ref. I hate ref bumps, but I don't mind it so much when it's a tribute to Eddie Guerrero. Obviously, one of the dirtiest players in the game. Not like Ric Flair. Not like this man. But he is one of the dirtiest players in the game. So yeah, boot comes off, smacks him with a boot, which I don't know, is that illegal? Because I mean, he could just kick him in the face and it's basically the same thing. Frog splash, 1, 2, 3. Job's a good one. I'm fine with that. You know, I don't think AJ Styles necessarily needs the title. I did think potentially AJ wins. You could have had Finn side with him, potentially. I don't know if that would turn Balor heel and Dom face and AJ heel, and then AJ's a champ, and then IC title. Cena wants the IC title to get the Grand Slam, but Cena versus Dom works as well because it just makes Dom a massive heel as well. Yeah, good match. All round good match. Now, all round shit match. Steel cage. There's just, who cares? Bloodline members, steel cage matches should be better than that. I feel like, I don't know if it was the night in general or this match suffered for the over stipulations of the night. There wasn't a single, there was one normal singles match, AJ versus Dom. Cena Cody was a street fight. This one was a steel cage match. Becky versus Lyra was a no DQ match. Naomi, Rhea, Io was a triple threat, so that's no DQ. And then you get the 6-way tag match, which is the furthest thing from a singles match, from a normal singles match you get. And I feel like they just could have balanced that a bit better, because on the first night, Sammy Cross is a singles match. Gunther Punk was a normal singles match. What else did you have? Jade Tiffany was a normal singles match. And then the other 3 tag matches were all just normal tags, right? Roman, Jay, Bronson, Braun. And then you got Raquel and Roxanne against Charlotte and Alexa. And what was the other tag match? I can't remember what the other tag match was. Oh yeah, Logan, Drew, Jelly, Randy. So, you know, all just no. There were no stipulations on the first card, and then there's 5 out of 6 on the second card. You know, just didn't balance very well. Didn't help this was a shitter. Just, I'm really struggling to still care about the bloodline now at the minute. Who cares? Steel cage matches are to keep everyone out. That's the whole point in steel cage matches. No one should be able to interfere. Or better, just as easy as that, ban them from ringside. Sorry, voice went weird. Ban them from ringside. How hard is it to do that? You're a general manager, Nick Aldis. If you made this a steel cage match, you realise how big of an issue Solo's MFTs are. So just ban them from ringside. Say if they get involved, Jacob wins the title. I hate wrestling logic sometimes. Like how Rollins came back, you could see he was going to cash in. Punk just stayed in the ring. Brock Lesnar comes back. Cena just stayed in the ring. I know they're both faces, but you can run off. That's not a bad thing. You can, especially Punk, you can avoid a cash in because you've seen cash ins happen. You know what a cash in is. You hate Rollins. You don't want him to win anything. You don't want to lose the title in general. And it's just absolutely stupid. You get the bloodline interference. JC Mateo's there. The infamous Tonga Loa's there. And Tala Tonga's there, who ends up being the difference maker. He handcuffs Jacob to the top of the cage. Jacob somehow breaks them. JC Mateo does something. What was the point in signing him? He's not even related to him at all. They've just brought him in. Tonga Loa's in the cage somehow, but he was just lying down in the cage. Solo goes for the door. Jacob keeps him out. Tala Tonga hits the door into Jacob, and then he falls over. Solo falls out. And the only person to come and back up Jacob is Jimmy Uso, and they were trying to present that like some sort of threat. Roman and Jay just didn't bother showing up to SummerSlam. He's your family too. Jimmy's your family. At least support him. I guess that's why they didn't do it on the same night, because it would make less sense. Because they could have leveled it out. You could have just done that, really, couldn't you? But no, Jacob loses again to Solo. Just split him apart. Please split him apart at the draft. I don't want to see any more of this, really. Jacob and Solo. I don't, because it's starting to make me think Jacob is not a good wrestler, and he probably is, to be fair. And then you get the main event. Very, very good. Really, really good main event. This is what the Mania main event should have been, but Travis Scott happened, and Cena's stupid fucking heel turn that was shit. It was absolutely shit, and you could see that by how shit the face turn was. There was no build up to it. It wasn't planned at all. He just said, "Oh no, I'm wrong. You're all great. I'm a good guy again. Cody, cheers for that. You give me a kick up the arse. Now let's fight each other, but we're friends again." Just absolute dog shit. I don't even know what to say about it. They wasted over half a year of John Cena being a heel in his last 12 months. It just doesn't make any sense. John Cena was never a real heel in his career, but because he was so over as a babyface. Yes, people booed him, but that was because he was a good guy and he was such a clean cut. He was such a clean cut good guy for the kids and all that stuff. He was shoved down your throat. He was burying people left and right. That's why he was booed. If he was a heel in the early 2010s and he went back to Dr. Thugonomics and stuff like that, they would have cheered him more than anything. If he turned heel, fans would have cheered Cena. The only difference would have been when they sung "Let's Go Cena, Cena Sucks," the pitches of the voice between kids and adults would have switched around, a bit like they did this year. No one's booing Cena, really, and his heel promos were shit. They didn't give him anything to work with. It was just, I want to ruin wrestling. Why? Why do you want to ruin wrestling? And now he's saying, I want to take the belt home because I don't want you to forget me. While he's the greatest of all time. 17-time world champion. No one's ever gonna forget John Cena. I've not got much else to say, but that's what the Mania match could have been. It could have been face versus face. No one needed to be a heel here because Cody wasn't the heel either. And the main person to suffer from this match, other than John Cena wasting his retirement tour, is Cody Rhodes for getting booed when he is the biggest babyface in the company. They're not going to have a bigger babyface than Cody Rhodes in the next 10 years, probably. You can say it'll be Jey Uso, because Jey Uso's over with kids, but the guy can't wrestle. I know John Cena isn't great, but he's leaps and bounds ahead of Jey Uso, even for how limited he is in the ring and how unadventurous he is. Do you see that code red? Can Jey Uso do that? I don't know. Maybe he can. But yeah, really good match. It was everything it should have been. It was Super Cena versus Super Cody. It was a finisher spam. Cody kicked out of like 8 AAs, including an Avalanche AA. Well, it's an FU. It's called the FU, Michael. If you call in the STF, which is a shit name for finisher, right? It was called the STFU for shut the fuck up. And then when they go PG, they turn it to shut the fuck. If you want to call it anything, call it the SU, right? The shut up. That's PG, right? And then the AA, attitude adjustment, Alcoholics Anonymous, just is not a great finish to begin with, but John Cena is one of my favourite wrestlers of all time, so I'm not going to pick it apart too much. A lot of it is bad booking, and The Rock and Travis Scott and viral moments, which is one of the biggest heel turns and best heel turns of all time. If you zoom in on it and then you pretend nothing else happened from it, it's one of the best heel turns of all time. It's up there with Hogan's turn. That is 1 and 2. Hogan's turn and Cena's turn are the best heel turns of all time. If you zoom out a bit, Hogan's is miles better because the NWO stuff is miles better than what we've done with Cena, because it should have just been babyface versus babyface. And then this match at SummerSlam, this could have been Cena's last SummerSlam. You get another feel-good moment, or he could drop the title to someone else. We could still have this match again, but I don't know if you need it. If you had it at WrestleMania, Cody could do something else. I really don't know. I don't know what SummerSlam looks like if that's a face versus face match. Or if he could have just faced Gunther, for God's sake. That's how simple it was. Have him face Gunther. Don't put Jey Uso in that position. And have Cena Punk. Cena Punk should happen next year. Don't get me wrong. That should happen next year. Rollins versus Sammy or Rollins versus Reigns. Lesnar's probably going to face Gunther now. But yeah, fantastic match. You get the stuff through the crowd onto the Cody elevator lift thing. Really good. Loved that spot. Cody goes through the announce. He went through the announce table. He went through. He went off the top rope from the altitude AA, the avalanche AA, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know how many crossroads Cena took. It was at least 5. That ultimate Cody cutter or whatever you want to call it. The Cody cutter should be a finisher. Let's talk about that as well. I'm going to stop rambling because we're nearly at 25 minutes. So fucking Brock Lesnar's back. The absolute sex pest. I don't know how they can even justify that, given he's named in a federal lawsuit going on at the minute. It sets a pretty scary precedent for Vince McMahon coming back, doesn't it? I don't get how TKO can be so against Vince McMahon but willing to bring back Brock Lesnar. I don't know what shit they're being fed, but Lesnar is... Well, I shouldn't say that. That's actually... You're probably not allowed to say that in that context, because, stuff like that is very involved with the lawsuit. But I don't get it. There's a reason Lesnar was gone for 2 years. I mean, you would assume there's a reason that he's back now, but there's nothing to point to that. Janelle Grant and her representatives put out a statement the other day talking about justice, basically right off the back of Brock Lesnar coming in, because the statement said stuff about abuse had been too normalized, which is a bad sign if you're Brock Lesnar and the WWE at this moment in time, and it's an even worse sign when Triple H probably brought him in. Right, Hulk Hogan's died. The WWE thought, shit, we're down a sex pest. What's Brock doing? Is he busy? Yeah, bring Brock back. Yeah, haven't faced Cena. And then he goes out on the post show, because they don't do press conferences anymore, because Triple H just dodges the question, the big nose fuck. And they're chanting, "We want Cross" at him. He says, yeah, I know you want Brock. We just brought you in. Only people from like Turkey wanted Brock Lesnar, and people who just shout on Twitter. I know the internet wrestling community, or whatever you want to call it, is quite a small part of what makes up wrestling fandom, but it's very negative on there. It's very split. Some people are staunchly, yeah, Brock Lesnar, big meaty guy. We don't need him. We just don't need him. There's about 3 or 4 interesting matches for him to have. John Cena isn't one of them. They fought enough times. They fought when he came back in 2012. They fought at SummerSlam in 2014. They had further matches when Seth was champion in that triple threat. They're not going to top any of them in this point of their career. They're both nearly 50. Should just be a one-off. I don't think Cena would have asked to face Brock. I really don't. That's what Triple H was sort of framing it as. Like, yeah, well, Cena gets what he, yeah. Shut up, Hunter. Basically saying that whatever Cena wanted, they would do. But before that, Cena has said that he's not going to request anyone, and it's been pretty on the record that Cena doesn't want to, politic and stuff and demand who his opponents are. Albeit there was some reports that he wanted R-Truth just to like keep him in the company. But Cena's then had a little interview, and he said he just, they deal the cards, I play them. So they're both throwing each other under the bus because no one wants to take accountability for a fucking rapist. Well, we don't know, to be fair, but a dodgy bastard at the very least being let back into the company. I'm going to stop rambling before I get cancelled. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed SummerSlam and Raw after it. Unlike LA Knight, which I didn't even talk about. LA Knight's been fucked over probably more than anyone else was. The Seth Rollins worked the fans and everyone just to cash in his Money in the Bank. LA Knight lost that he won the match, but he lost the war, because the reports were saying that LA Knight was supposed to face Rollins at SummerSlam and get the win there, but if he was never injured, that was never going to happen, and there's no reason LA Knight wasn't on the card other than they had nothing for him, which is just taking the piss. Damien and Alistair should have been on the card as well, I thought. Penta, surprising to leave him off. Carmelo Hayes should be in a higher position, given people that were called up alongside him. Your Braun Breakers, your Tiffany Strattons, your Lyra Valkyrias are in positions of, not power, but they're in high positions on the card, and he's nowhere to be seen. LA Knight's nowhere to be seen, and it pisses me off. He gets a title match, that's a DQ, Punk gets involved. Clash at Paris. Just give LA Knight the belt. Please. I'm done. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more with your post notifications on, so you're definitely updated when there is more. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.